You've probably heard the advice: don't let your emotions control you. Be stoic. Sounds powerful, right? But what if I told you that chasing emotional detachment might actually be hurting you more than helping? There's a fine line between being calm and being numb. And too many people today are using Stoicism as an excuse to emotionally shut down. Let's talk about it, the dark side of Stoicism, where ancient wisdom meets modern psychology, and how emotional avoidance is silently destroying your mental health. Stoicism versus emotional suppression. First, let's clear something up. Real Stoicism isn't about feeling nothing. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they never said to be emotionless. They said to understand your emotions and respond with reason, not impulsiveness. But in today's self-help culture, Stoicism often gets twisted into something else. A lot of people take "don't react emotionally" and turn it into "don't feel anything at all." That's not strength. That's avoidance, and here's where psychology backs it up. Emotional suppression, the habit of pushing down or ignoring your feelings, can lead to anxiety, depression, and even physical health problems. You're not being stoic. You're bottling things up. And sooner or later, that bottle explodes. A key misunderstanding is that Stoicism encourages total emotional suppression. But that's not true Stoic thinking. The Stoics didn't reject emotions. They rejected being controlled by them. They understood that emotions can cloud judgment, and that's where the philosophy steps in. Stoicism teaches us to observe our feelings, to recognize their presence, and then to choose our response. In today's world, many use the Stoic label as a shield to avoid vulnerability or tough emotions like sadness or fear. But real Stoic strength is being able to face those emotions without letting them dictate your actions. It's not about shutting them down. It's about learning to rise above them. The psychology of extreme detachment. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Emotional detachment feels powerful until it becomes a cage. Psychologists call it emotional avoidance, avoiding feelings, vulnerability, or discomfort by shutting off emotionally. And on the surface, it works. You feel nothing. No drama, no sadness, no highs, no lows. Just peace. But inside, you become disconnected from your relationships, your passions, even yourself. You stop trusting your emotions, and without emotion, there's no real connection, no empathy, no meaning. What's even more ironic, emotional detachment often starts as self-protection, but over time, it turns into self-sabotage. People think they're avoiding pain, but they're also avoiding joy, intimacy, and growth. Psychology calls this the cost of numbing. You can't selectively shut off emotions. If you suppress sadness, you also dull your ability to feel excitement, love, creativity. So while detachment may look like strength on the outside, it's often just emotional starvation. You survive, but you stop truly living. So ask yourself, are you calm because you're grounded? Or are you calm because you've shut everyone and everything out? The hidden costs of emotional detachment. Let's get real. What happens when you detach from your emotions for too long? It might feel like a superpower in the moment. You avoid pain, avoid conflict, and keep a sense of peace on the surface. But eventually, that detachment starts to eat away at you from the inside. Psychology tells us that emotional avoidance can lead to feelings of numbness, disconnection, and even loneliness. People start to feel like they're just going through the motions, never really engaged, never truly feeling. The more you disconnect, the harder it becomes to reconnect with others or even yourself. You lose sight of what makes you feel alive, and that's a dangerous path. And here's where the Stoics would warn you. Avoiding emotions isn't the path to wisdom or inner peace. It's just another form of self-deception. Real emotional resilience comes from facing your feelings, accepting them, and choosing how to act, not burying them under a facade of calm. So, ask yourself, are you truly living in alignment with Stoicism, or are you using it to build walls around your heart? Healthy Stoicism isn't numbness, it's wisdom. The real goal of Stoicism is not detachment, it's clarity. A Stoic doesn't avoid emotion. They observe it. They listen. They ask, why do I feel this? And what can I learn from it? Modern psychology aligns with this. Therapists use tools like emotional regulation, mindfulness, and cognitive reframing, which sound a lot like Stoic techniques, just updated for today. The healthiest Stoics aren't the ones who feel the least. They're the ones who feel deeply and still choose not to be owned by those feelings. They don't run from emotion. They face it with courage and curiosity. Psychology calls this emotional agility, the ability to navigate complex emotions without being overwhelmed. It's not about building walls, but about building inner space, so you can sit with discomfort without letting it control your decisions. That's what real strength looks like. Calm, not cold. Present, not passive. You can feel pain and still be in control. You can cry and still be strong. Emotional awareness doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. So here's the challenge. Stop chasing numbness. That's not Stoicism. That's fear in disguise. Instead, feel fully. Think clearly. Act intentionally. That's the sweet spot between philosophy and psychology. Drop a comment. Have you ever mistaken detachment for strength? Let's talk about it. And if you're into deep, honest conversations around Stoicism and mental health, hit like and subscribe. Because the strongest people aren't the ones who feel nothing. They're the ones who feel everything and still choose peace. See you in the next one.